Well, hello, my friends. It's Julia Stagey, the Magical Marketer, and you are at Rebel Marketing for Wild Women and Enchanted Men, how to create free webinars that attract your tribe and increase your sales without being salesy. It's my pleasure to be with you today, and this is a brand new webinar. I've never done it before. Just was putting on the finishing touches as just a few minutes ago, in fact, and it's my pleasure to share this with you, and it's really my purpose to help you get your unique message out to the world, and that's why I do this free webinar. So today, what we're going to cover is pretty much what you need to know to get started offering free webinars. And I want to encourage you to just get out there and just do it if you haven't already started. And I'm going to take your questions too to make sure. I know when I first started offering teleclasses and webinars, before I started, it was like the simplest question in the world that stopped me for a number of years, and that was what program should I use to do my webinars. And so I'm going to share that with you so you don't have to wait years or pay any money actually to learn that. I had to pay $350 to get the answer to that question. I got some other questions answered too. And I'm going to share those with you today as much as I can. We're going to be together for about 90 minutes. The presentation's probably going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm going to also take questions. And I'm going to introduce you to a new program that I've got that I've never offered before either. And so you'll want to stay around to the end, where I'll be getting to your questions. At first, I'm going to cover the first steps, the most important first step that sometimes I forget. In fact, I forgot until I realized what I was teaching you. I didn't even take this first step until last night. So even I used to forget. I seem to have been used to forget it as soon as yesterday. So it's a very important first step. I don't want us to ever forget how to design a free webinar that allows you to unleash your rebel voice, attract your tribe, promote your soul's passion, and make more sales. So, sales are required to keep a business going. So, we got to do sales, and we want our sales to not be smarmy. We want our sales to actually contribute to those other people's lives. Those times when you really love when you bought something and you're really excited about it, that's how we always want our perfect customers to feel. And I feel that free webinars are a great way to inspire that kind of a response in our perfect customers. What are the key obstacles you need to overcome to successfully fill your webinars? There's definitely some obstacles. I hear about them on a daily basis, so I'll talk about those. How to monetize your free webinars while genuinely connecting with and serving your people. So there's a way to actually deeply serve people that results in sales. We think that if we give everything away that people will never want to be with us again, that was it. But really, it's not that way. So I'll talk about that. And how to stop letting technology fears stop you from growing your business and your influence online. And I'm going to share ways you can get the support you need to increase your sales through webinars without selling your soul. Okay, so I know you've attended probably other free webinars before where you felt completely sold by the person, and they were very not transparent about it. A lot of marketers, and I'm going to get into why I think we need a new paradigm for marketing today as well. A lot of marketers don't really care if they're tricking you, and they use all sorts of techniques to trick you. So I'm not into that at all. I try to be as transparent, open, and available and accessible as possible. And I promise I'm not going to be giving you techniques that you couldn't possibly use because they're too hypey, You got to look at how people run their gigs. And you can watch me as closely as you like. But when I attend other people's show, per se, I'm always really feeling into, are they giving me the real deal? Are they really there? Or are they trying to pull one over on me? So, a lot of times they are trying to pull something over. I don't think that's a paranoid response at all. But my people, they don't like that. I know you don't like that, so we'll get into that. How to avoid doing that. So I looked at who's here today and who's registered, and there's a lot of people who I have never met before. So um, some of you I've known for years. You know all this stuff about me. Sometimes you say, "Oh, well, I didn't know that about you," but um, I'll just share just briefly about myself and why you would even want to listen to me at all. Well, probably a friend of yours referred you to me, and they said I was cool. That was very nice of your friend, and I thank them deeply. Or you might have found me online, but maybe you didn't get to read in much about me. And I have a very unique and interesting path, and I bet you do too, because like attracts like. My path starts as a graphic designer. You know, I got my BFA in graphic design about 30 years ago and an MFA in media studies in the 80s. Got a jump start on using media to present my messages. So I got a master's degree in that and master's of fine arts. I got a landmark introduction leader credent along the way. That was like a boot camp for leaders, for those of you that know landmark education. I'm also a certified character code client coach. I also do the money codes. That's with Brandy and Vinca. And I'm a strategic attraction coach for the past, oh my gosh, 7 years. Those of you who know Jan and Alan from Perfect Customers. I was one of their first credentialed coaches to teach their strategic attraction plan, and I got my sales degree from Grateful Dead University in the early 90s. I traveled around following the dead, selling t-shirts and learning about sales and what people actually want to buy. So, you know, back in the early 80s, I started my career like normal people do. I mean, normal people who are really super driven to succeed in marketing. So I went to university. I graduated with a degree in graphic design from Syracuse University, and I went to Manhattan. I got a job with my mentor, and I started doing stuff for people like Burger King and later on Carnegie Hall. I was there in New York for about 3.5 years before it literally drove me nuts, and I was crying on a regular basis. I felt like I was going to have a breakdown, and my former roommate tried to kill herself. That didn't help things. My boyfriend broke up with me. That was pretty bad. But what the worst thing of all was that everything that my friends in marketing were doing was about brainwashing, lying, and hyping people. And in fact, they got into careers where they sold cigarettes to children and as well as pharmaceutical drugs, which is the number 5 killer of human beings. Or the number 4 killer. So I really freaked out. I just want to just be clear. The regular world of marketing was abhorrent to me. There I am at age 23. How cute, right? This is why. Because traditional marketing appeals to the base wants of money, sex, and fame. It exploits common fears. It uses slick design to cover up the truth. That's what I was supposed to do. Not above brainwashing, hyping, or lying. Targets and then inundates the potential client base. I was thinking, gosh, is there another way? And meanwhile, my friends were like, oh, I'm making so much money. Oh, I've got a great view of Central Park, you know. Like that mattered when what they were doing was putting this junk out into the world. Nowadays, my pet peeve is red arrows pointing at opt-in boxes and how you can easily build a massive list and earn more cash than you ever thought possible. I guess I could have had that as my title, you know, today. But, you know, this kind of approach, ugh. So I left New York and I drove west in a more Search of a More Authentic Life, and that was a long time ago, my friend. So fast forward through a lot of rebelliousness, studying the idea of freedom, abolitionism, student student activism, Grateful Dead tour, landmark education, discovering the law of attraction, becoming certified attraction coach, creating my own system called Branding from the Heart, how to share your purpose through marketing that attracts your tribe and inspires a revolution. And I ended up in Sebastopol, California. This is about a mile away from my house. This is an actual rainbow, you know, and I've created magical marketing. And all of these experiences have accumulated in a unique approach to marketing that's designed to attract your tribe and inspire real change in the world while your business thrives. You know, I rebelled so hard against that marketing thing, and I guess capitalism, if you want to be frank about it. Um, it just hurt me in my soul that this is how our society was run. And I thought, well, how do I attract my tribe? That would probably be my biggest thing. You know, back when we were in Illinois and see all these people we got to march down the street in this like conservative little town, we were learning how to inspire people to awaken and make big changes in their lives and in the lives of their society so that we could all be, you know, free, or whatever it is that we wanted in the world, that positive transformation that we're looking for. Then I know you're looking for too, because like attracts like. I love helping change makers to clarify their message and get it out to the world in an inspiring way. I just met with Julia Butterfly a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to help her, you know, with her website. She's not very technologically oriented. I did her website back in 2002, I think, and lots has changed since then. So I'm going to help her again, and that's inspiring to me. I did the website for Iyanla Vanzant, who now is a bigwig on Oprah's network. The Iyanla Fix My Life show is really huge now. But before that, she came to me for her website, and her purpose is she's got a very strong vision to empower millions and millions of people. Cafe Gratitude, some of you are familiar with Matthew and Tercy Engelhart. I did the branding for Cafe Gratitude, and that is a raw food restaurant chain designed to transform the lives of people that come there to eat. And Suzanne Falter, do you know her? She used to do Spiritual Marketing Quest, and now she's doing How Much Joy Can You Stand? She's writing new books. Recently, I've been really inspired by photographer Lisa Christine to dedicate a portion of my time and profits to ending modern-day slavery. There's over 27 million souls suffering in bondage in the world today, and you can learn more about that at freetheslaves.net. But I'm working out ways to integrate freeing people from slavery into my business. And, you know, as Lisa Christine says, when people think of slavery, they think of an era from the distant past, grainy photographs from Civil War times, and yet it still goes on today. In fact, there's more people enslaved today than were in the entire transatlantic slave trade of the 16, 17, 1800s. So I feel like, why am I telling you about this? Well, there's a number of reasons, but you know, this is partly my forum for how to share what's really important to me and to inspire you to just go out there and share what's important to you, because that's what's going to attract your people. Your people, actually, you're uniquely qualified to serve them, more uniquely qualified than anyone else. So like I said, you know, obviously that old paradigm for marketing would not work for this stuff. How can you transform the world while you're brainwashing people? It doesn't work that way. So, hold on a second. I just have to make sure I got my little thing up here. Okay. So, as I was saying before, we've got The traditional approach to marketing that freaked me out when I was in Manhattan appeals to the base wants of money, sex, and fame, exploits common fears, uses slick design to cover up the truth, not above brainwashing, hyping, or lying, targets and then inundates potential client base. You might have some other things that you think about traditional marketing. So the new paradigm for marketing is really about the divine feminine. That's why I have Nicki Minaj here. You know, she has that song where in the song she goes, "I can tell you're in touch with your feminine side." Whoa. Anyway, that's why I have her there. It appeals to positive emotion and inspires potential customers, right? So instead of trying to appeal to fears, it appeals to their positive emotions and inspires them. Wow, that's new. How about it's authentic and comes from the heart? How about we use beauty to resonate and attract? And we create a genuine connection with our clients and vulnerable sharing of the truth. So a lot of times when you're marketing in this way, you'll feel very vulnerable and you'll wonder if this isn't crazy. Am I crazy to share this? Well, you know, what I'm saying is the key to a really successful marketing of any kind, successful webinars, it's really about being yourself. So I've been using free webinars for the years to increase my income by over 100,000 in the last 7 years while getting my heartfelt message out to thousands of people across the globe. It's kind of a mathematical thing. If you've been focused on marketing locally and there's a way to get your message out to the billions of people in the world, it's reasonable to expect that hundreds will come and opt in to, or thousands, to hear your message, and that you know, multiple people will be coming to you, more people will come to you than when you're just marketing very locally. So like I was saying, the key ingredient to a magically attractive webinar is authenticity. Ask and answer from your soul, what's perfect for me? So it's not really about going out there and figuring out what people want, though that's a good idea to ask your perfect people once you attract them. Ask them what they want. But first, ask what's perfect for you. Before you go out there trying to figure out about them, what's perfect for you? So the first step to creating a magically attractive free webinar is to clarify who you are attracting, who you want to have this authentic conversation with. I first learned about Attracting Perfect Customers, the book, back in 2001. And then I became certified as a strategic attraction coach as soon as I could in 2006 in their first program. And then I got into their book, Being Attraction, What Love Has to Do with Business and Marketing. This is Jan Stringer and Alan Hickman of Perfect Customers, Inc. And the strategic attraction plan that they created is, I feel, one of the most transformational tools. It's going to help you to describe your perfect customers as well as define what makes you and them tick. That's your purpose. This is where I realized, since what makes you and your perfect customers tick is the same, it's like attracts like, then if you were to share your purpose in your marketing, then you would attract your most perfect customers. That's where I got that idea. So branding from the heart that I created is completely derived out of my work with the attraction plan. You want to specify what you really want and declare who you're going to be in the process. Part of this whole business of attracting perfect customers is, who are you being? Because if you're being worried and freaked out, then you're not going to attract, you know, enlightened, not freaked out people. So you want to declare who you're going to get to be. And I find this work so important and foundational that it is at the basis of all the marketing that I do. So whenever I work with anyone on their marketing, it's the first thing we do. Do your attraction plan. So get your attraction plan at magicalmarketingtoolkit.com, and you'll get a couple videos and a little attraction planning workbook that you can use to get started on your attraction plan. magicalmarketingtoolkit.com. So as you're going to create your attraction plan, you're going to clarify your perfect customer profile. So when you describe them, your perfect customers are going to recognize themselves, right? Like, in fact, you want to be able to describe them in a way that they kind of get weepy because you're describing them. I've had people call me crying on a number of occasions because of my website copy, or because of a webinar that I offered and I have a recording of it on my website, or because of any number of reasons they've read my marketing someplace. And they've contacted me so moved by what I said because they recognized themselves and that was like a deep experience for them. Your contacts could also say, oh, when you describe your perfect customers, oh my God, my friend is just like that. You should definitely talk with her. Or they would send their friends to you because they realize that your perfect people and their perfect people are the same. These are people you would love to work with long term because you're alike. So instead of like living your life attracting people you don't really like and just dealing with it day in, day out, day in, day out, you attract people that are on the same life path as you are, who you are uniquely qualified to serve. So the second step is what I call branding from the heart process. I wrote a book. It's finished. I just am doing some finishing touches on it. So it's coming out this fall. And it's all about defining your purpose and creating authentic marketing messages. I outline all of this in my book and also in my program. I have a program called Branding from the Heart. But just to bring it down to the nutshell, first we look at our attraction plan and say, well, what makes you and your perfect customers tick? Here's my perfect customers calling me. Sorry about that. First, we discover what makes you and your perfect customers tick. That core essence, the place in the soul of you, at the heart of you, that what makes you tick, that's what gets you up in the morning. It has you working late at night because you're so inspired. That is what makes you tick. Now, I came up with this one today, but this is sort of similar to what I might have been saying, 5 years ago as well. What makes me and my perfect customers tick is expressing the beauty and magic of creation in ways that inspire people to transform their lives and change the world. I feel that at the core of what makes me and my perfect customers tick is a desire to make a difference. And to make a difference in a global way, or in a much broader way. I mean, you can use webinars to promote locally, and some people have a purpose to be a local presence more so than a world presence. I tend to attract both of those people. Mostly people want a global impact because that's what I really want, and like attracts like. However, there's other aspects of what aligns me in with those who want to get out there, their transformational work in a more local way. But all of us really want to make a difference in the lives of others. It's not really about making money, but we would like to make money, enough money to thrive and to give back to those causes that we believe in. So once we decide what makes us tick, we're going to make a list of our tick words. And these are the words, these are the magical words that we use in our marketing to attract our peeps. Because when you use these words to describe your free webinars, the people that are a match to you are going to be drawn into you by their intuition. Because like attracts like. In fact, I told you about Iyanla Vanzant. She came to me right at a time when I had written down her name as I wanted to interview her for a book I was writing. And she contacted me out of the blue. It was totally synchronistic, and said the reason she had contacted me was because she saw that word magical next to the word marketing, and she just had to click. So it was a little more complex than that. Somebody had referred her to me, somebody I don't know actually referred her to me, but that was part of what had her trust to, move forward. And what always kind of endeared her to me was that I used my tick words, and that magic was also what makes her tick. So we're going to combine your tick words with your offerings to create your authentic brand message. This is key to every kind of marketing. So when you're doing a free webinar, you want to clarify what your brand message is. Here's my brand message. Magical marketing is about helping spiritual business women and conscious entrepreneurs to clarify and express their purpose through branding and websites that attract their tribe and inspire a revolution. So there's different ways that I say that, and there's the title of this webinar today, Rebel Marketing for Wild Women and Enchanted Men. And there's other titles that I use, Wildly Attractive Websites, etc., that Branding from the Heart, that use this method to create authentic titles and messages that help me attract my tribe. So once you know what you're saying, who you're talking to and what you're talking about in general, meaning the soul essence, the core message that you're really getting out to the world. Once you've crafted that, it's time to figure out what you're going to do your free webinar on and create a free webinar outline. So you're going to select your topic, your key talking points, and your upsell offer, or what you're promoting out of your free webinar. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that costs money that you're promoting. It could be you're promoting that people take an action, or that is something like to come to another free event or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be where you're selling something at the free webinar, but you want to make sure you know what you're promoting. And then you're going to ask what's perfect for you. What are you going to be happy to share even if you never earned a penny to do it? Right? You're happy to spend your time because you're going to be talking about whatever your passion is, and you're going to be attracting people who actually care about your same thing. That's going to be the most magically attractive webinar you can offer. The money follows, and there's different strategies that you can use to ensure that people understand how they can invest with you, because I think that's probably one of the biggest problems that some of my clients have, is that they don't really know how to ask for the sale, so they never do, and so people never buy from them. But people actually need you to ask for the sale. They need to know what the boundaries are around you, how to interact with you, and how to work with you. And if you don't tell them, then you're forcing them to ask you. It's not really fair. So you definitely want to share how people can work with you. I'll get more into that in a little bit. But when you're picking what you want to do, make sure that it's something that you're passionate about, okay? It's not just a strategy that, oh, other people are doing it, therefore I should be doing it. So get your topic, your key talking points, and whatever you're going to offer from it. And that's enough to start promoting. Oh, you want to get a date, select a date. You're going to select your technology and stuff. But first, just create an outline so you know what you're going to be talking about. So some people are wondering, well, they know because of, you guys have probably experienced this many times, and you'll be experiencing it today. You've seen free webinars that give you a bit of information about an important topic and give you the sense of what it's like to work with that person. And then if you want to go further into more detail about that topic, you take their intensive or their training and workshop or whatever, online courses, in-person workshops or whatever it is. So you've probably been more familiar with that. Webinar to promote a webinar series sounds very logical. What people don't always think about, and which I'm always talking to my clients when I'm doing their websites, it's important to use webinars, and I think it's vital. I think everyone should be doing it to promote whatever you've got. If you've got products or services that normally you just do in person, and you could possibly even use free webinars to promote in-person stuff, inspire people to come from out of town or from where they've not learned about you before, where, a lot of people don't want to leave their home, so it's very convenient for them to be able to learn about you in a webinar where they didn't have to leave home, even if you are just down the street. So you could be a chiropractor and talk about some of the challenges that people face, and then make some kind of a great offer from that webinar to get people to come into your chiropractic office or your other service that it's an in-person thing. I encourage people to figure out ways to offer things remotely. So if they do, say, remote consulting or healings remotely, or other kind of services that you can offer remotely via online technology and methodologies, or using emails and recordings or videos or whatever, or webinars, that I encourage that. I encourage that you figure out a way to offer your services and products to people regardless of where they are, unlimited by where it's space and time. You could do a free webinar to promote a new website that you've got, to promote your blog. So that's, like I'm saying, it doesn't necessarily need to be an upsell to a product or a service where they're paying you. You could have a webinar that promotes people subscribe to your blog. You could do a marketing launch with the webinar. You could make an announcement. Maybe you're changing your brand and you just want to make an announcement about it, or maybe you're offering new services or something like that. You could do a webinar around that and just inspire people to connect with you in the normal way that they usually do. You can have clients come on to a webinar. You can interview them about working with you. I did that recently with Michelle Pedicolis, website design client and branding client of mine, who wanted to come on and share her experience of her life transforming as we created her website. So you could have something like that where your client shares their experience of working with you. That would be exceptionally wonderful. You might have a book launch. You want to promote a book. So I challenge you, if you have something that you think cannot be promoted with webinars, please raise your hand in the webinar queue, and during the Q&A, I'll get to you, and I'll see if I can come up with a way that you can use webinars to promote your business. Let me make sure if somebody hasn't asked a question or something like this. Just a sec. Okay. So here's one of the real issues that people ask me about time and again, where's free offers and free webinars especially are concerned. And that is how not to give away the farm. Now, some of you may not even have heard that expression before. I don't even know where it came from, but the idea is, how do you not give, your free webinar and then give everything they needed to know so they just leave and never, ever work with you? And I think it's a legitimate concern. Now, I I tend to be of the mind that you want to give, give, give. You want to give really good, valuable content that people can walk away with. I have learned things from free webinars and teleclasses and videos from various marketing people. Um, I have learned things from their free stuff. I have never paid them a cent, and I'm really happy that I learned, and I really hold them in a positive light, and I tell people about them. And possibly some of those people actually end up buying something. Um, but there's a buzz sort of that is created when somebody gets really, really good content. But one strategy that you can use is to talk about what they need to know in an outline form. So you could, like I said earlier, I said make an outline of just, you could talk about what they're gonna need to know, like things they need to know, but not exactly how to do it. I think that most of us, have things that would take longer than an hour or 90 minutes to even explain how to do it at all. So there's only going to be a limited amount of time that you can give them this content. My strategy is give them as good as you can during that time, and try not to worry about this, oh, am I giving too much away? One marketing guru that I've listened to, Frank Kern, once said he gives away, and he tends to give away even like so good in his free that you wonder how could it be better in the paid, but people really love his systems and they promote them, and they give great testimonials for them, and obviously the strategies and the details and the things that they get in the program way goes further than what you can do in a short time. But when you're known, like I said, when you're known for really giving great content, it creates great buzz. But the outline might be, well, here's what you need to do, step 1, step 2, step 3, but you don't exactly go into that much detail about how to do those steps. That would be called like appetizer, um, an appetizer approach. And I took that course from Lisa Sasevich a few years ago when she did it live, the 6-figure teleseminar secrets or something like that it was called. And during that she talked about the free teleclass and how you want to either go deep dish into one lesson, so you can give a deep lesson, kind of like what I'm doing right now on how to do free webinars. Go deep into free webinars, but don't go that much into how to do webinar series or create products that you can sell ongoingly without having to redo the classes and things like that. Those are the deeper, how do you do webinar series, how do you write the copy to sell and market and all that kind of stuff. There's more than I can even talk about in that today. You have a similar thing where you can talk about maybe step 1 and go deep, or you can talk about here's all the steps, but you go very narrowly into each one. That way you're creating a boundary around what you're talking about and what you're not talking about. But like I said, giving away the farm is better than being stingy. So folks will assume your paid offering is even more generous, and it should be. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. And then some people want to know, well, yeah, they're going to come to my free webinar, but how do I inspire sales from there? Sometimes you'll get people to come to a free webinar, but nobody bought anything or something like that. What you can do, and sometimes, people will wait if they can wait. Like if there's no reason to buy your thing, they will wait. Either the reason to buy it is because it's happening, really soon, or because you've got a deal that only people who act fast can get. And that's why you see a lot of people creating great, today only type of offers. Or the first X number of registrants will get this. I know, and if you think about when you've attended webinars and when you've actually registered for something, um, and why you registered right when you did. And think about that and think about, well, those probably same type of things that are going on in the mind of your perfect people. So, you know, when I bought that Lisa Sasevich thing, there was a certain number of people. Like if you paid in full and you did it right away, you would get more classes and a free event or something like that. And I did another one where it was a $3,000 class with Kelly O'Neill, where if we paid in full and did it right away, we would get a half hour with her on top of it, which was worth about $500. So figure out a way to sweeten your deal. Maybe offer something that only live attendees or people who act fast can get or even know about. So it's not on your website, but if they come to your webinar, they'll learn about it, and in your marketing you can tell them, I'm going to be offering something that you can't get on my website. You're going to save hundreds of dollars, so you should show up if you're thinking about working with me. A lot of time, if you're doing really good marketing, you've got people that are on your list for a while, like possibly years, as they're checking you out, ready, waiting to be ready. They may have been checking you out for a long while, and then suddenly you're with your free webinar and the sweet deal that they've never seen you offer before will inspire them to take action right away. I also like to take action as an attraction thing, you know, like those times when I registered for Lisa's thing and for Kelly's thing, and I did it so fast. I did it right during the live webinar because I want my perfect customers to do that. You know, I want my perfect customers to register right when they're inspired, right during the webinar, and take advantage of the bonuses and stuff. And so then, since like attracts like, if I take actions like that, then I'm more likely to attract people who take actions like that. If I'm resistant to buying anything from free webinars, and then I wonder why nobody buys stuff from my free webinars, then I better go back to my attraction plan and remind myself, like attracts like. So give them something that they can't get anywhere else. Okay, here's some obstacles to overcome. And number one is the fear of technology. My assistant Beth tells me that almost everyone that writes us for a strategy session, they say that they have a fear of technology or a resistance to technology in some way. And, you know, I used to have a resistance, like I said, when I was learning how to do teleclasses. I didn't know how to do them. People were doing them, and I was looking around saying, oh, I probably should do them, but I don't know how to do them, and I don't, and the technology, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I ended up taking a class about 7 years ago to learn how to just do it. And this is one of the things that I wanted to learn, is what service to use. And I started using freeconferencecall.com, and I used it for a couple of years, and it was free. And they now have one called freescreensharing.com, so without having to pay a lot of money, any money actually, you can either do a teleclass or a webinar, and the difference between those two is the visual. A teleclass, you don't have visuals. A webinar, you do have visuals. So with a webinar, you need to be able to share your screen or at least share a PowerPoint slide presentation. There's also one called anymeeting.com where you can get up to 200 people a room for free, but you have to put their advertising on your webinar. So these folks have trainings and people often on staff who are there to help you. So it's my suggestion that you start simple and free and either do just a teleclass or do a webinar with some slides on a free conference type service and take their trainings and figure it out and kind of do it. Like number 5 is just do it, fail faster. That's what my coaches Brandy and Binka say, just fail faster. You know, you're going to probably make a mistake. You know, some technological thing is going to go wrong. and you're going to use that to stop you from getting your important message out to the world? I don't think so, right? I hope not. Oh, maybe you have been, huh? Maybe you need to do it with a friend who's already familiar with the technology. You know, get somebody who's doing, like you have a friend that's been doing teleclasses and you're kind of, you know that your people are the same, or you know you have something of value to offer their audience, or you think that your friend has something of value to offer your audience. You could invite your friend and then kind of experience doing a teleclass or a webinar with them and have them run it. I do that with people quite frequently. Or you could have somebody come over like a technical helper and just be there with you running the thing while, you know, for your first time and teach you how to do it. You'll find that it's so simple you probably don't need them to come again. The PowerPoint or say Google Docs slides, something like that, they're perfect for creating the visuals. So practice makes perfect. You know, just create your slides, create PowerPoint slides. PowerPoint comes with a lot of different templates. You might have it on like a Mac. If you have a Mac, there's probably some kind of a slide thing on a Mac that's different than PowerPoint, but you know, they probably come with templates that you could use to start and just do it. Practice makes perfect. Do it, fail faster, and you're going to learn. So maybe on your attraction plan, you could say, I want my perfect customers to expect that I am feeling very confident about technology, and technology is my friend. All right, so I could add number 6. Add this to your attraction plan, that you're good with technology. All right, here's the other fear, over-marketing. And, you know, most of my peeps, like I said, you probably don't like marketing because it's hypey, or you think people don't want to hear from you. Okay. Well, here's some things that you have to kind of remember if you want people to show up to your thing. And, you know, just to be completely transparent, I will tell you that as of the start of this webinar, there were 117 registrations. There are 38 people in attendance live, but 39. Some people might have come in and some people might have left, so probably later I'll find out that maybe about 45 people showed up. So that's about 40%, and 30 to 40% is common, that the number of people that register in your free webinar, about 30% are going to show live, and about 30 to 40% are going to watch the video afterwards, and then about 30% probably just are going to ignore you. So one thing to remember is that reminders will help make sure. You can't just have them register and never remind them and then expect they're going to show up. So I use GoToWebinar, and GoToWebinar sends out automatic notices before the thing and after. So by the way, the video gets sent automatically afterwards. That's very handy, but I send out one letter, say a week or 2 in advance of the webinar. I'll send out probably 3 or 4 dedicated emails about a free webinar. Depends on how long in advance I'm promoting it. If it's only a week, I got to promote it. Sometimes I'll just do, boom, I'm just going to promote it. It's going to be next week. I did that with the one I did with Michelle, and we still had about 35 people there. But I sent out probably 2 emails, and I promoted it on social media. So are afraid of sending too many emails? Remember, people, first of all, not everyone reads all your emails, and you're not always on their mind. So it's not like they're sitting there remembering what you wrote last time either. So reminders help them to remember. Whenever I register for something, I rely on them to send me reminders, or else I probably won't remember. I mean, I put it in my calendar and everything, and I think that's a great idea, and you can suggest to your people they put your thing in their calendar. have been having an automatic thing where the registration adds it to their calendar, but you know, reminders will help them remember. So today I sent one out an hour before. I sent one out yesterday afternoon, and I sent one out at the beginning of the week and last week, I think. So to get live butts in your seat, somebody asked. Okay. I put that earlier too, but offer specials that only live attendees can win or buy at a discount, and promote that these offers will only be given to folks who attend live. So that's just one strategy for getting butts in the seats. There's multiple other strategies that you know, we go over when we go do a deeper training, but this would be probably one of the best ways. Tell people when you invite them that you're going to give away some free prizes to those who attend live, or give special offers to those who attend live.